Alright everyone, check out this piece of crap. This is a Toyota skid steer. I'm not sure what year it is, but it definitely, it's in pretty rough shape. You can see these pins and bushings are pretty gone. These ones are pretty gone. See, somebody's got a pin in there. Hand and foot controls, wiring issues. Tires look like crap, but he does have two newer looking tires that go with it. So he says that this thing's been sitting for a while, as you can tell. It's got a Toyota diesel in it, but he said he had it running and everything, driving around, but it overheated due to the radiator being severely clogged or corroded, and he got it running and everything, and then it overheated, blew a head gasket. He said he had the head redone, decked, new valves, all that good stuff, and had all that done to it, but you can't run it for long periods of time without putting a new radiator in it. I don't know how much that is true, but he said it's been sitting here for a while. We're gonna try and get it just to run a little bit. We're gonna hook a battery to it, spray some ether down in it, and see if we can get it to do anything. I don't know if it will or not. I haven't bought it yet. I'm kind of deciding on it. It's definitely gonna need a lot of work. Hop in here for a minute, take a look. It does have a new seat in it. He added some gauges to it. He also says it will turn off with the key, but it won't start with the key. 3,100 hours. Who knows if that is true or not? Doubt it. All this stuff has been getting rained on, so who knows if any of it's good. This thing is definitely going to take some work for sure. He said this is a cutoff for the engine. It's like a butterfly valve in the intake that kind of acts as a choke, but I guess it cuts the engine off in an emergency. This is your throttle, and these are the controls. Here we go. We're gonna try and start this thing. Wow, these battery terminals are frying. They're smoking for some reason.
Yeah, I don't have them, I didn't have them tightened up.
Well, it's the wire itself.
Oh, it's the wire itself?
Yeah, it's almost like something's shorting out or something. Well, I can barely even pull them off. All right, I'm gonna pull that off and let it cool down for a second, because that thing is smoking.
Yeah.
So we ended up making a deal. We did get it to turn over. It did. I think the injectors need bleeding. The fuel line might need bleeding. I'm not sure, but it's not really idling perfect. He did say he had it running and everything. I don't know if that's true or not, but anyway, we got a tow truck coming. We can get it towed to the house and start working on this thing. All right, we are almost loaded up. Bucket to lift up a little bit by putting a come along up there. She's all loaded up. try to put some air in that tire, but it's got a slow leak right up in one of these. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got this thing back home and looked it over a little bit, and yeah, there's a few things it's gonna need, but for what I paid for it, I think I got a fair deal. Go ahead and post in the comments what you guys think I paid. Whoever comes to the closest answer will get a free giveaway from Super Clean, which is going to be a case of cleaners, degreasers, and t-shirt, all that good stuff. So so go ahead and post what you guys think I paid. Whoever gets closest will win. So I went ahead and lifted the seat up here so I can get to the engine and pump. For the most part, it looks okay in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and do the first thing I always do, and that's to pressure wash everything so I can kind of have a clean slate. So I got everything kind of opened up here, so let's get to pressure washing. Alright, so I got this thing for the most part cleaned up, but as I was cleaning it, I noticed a couple problems that I need to get fixed first. There is actually some kind of knob that goes on here, and they cut off, the wires are in there, and when I was looking down in here, you probably barely see it, but the wires go into the joystick controls, and they are, I don't know if you can see my finger right there, but they are all melted together, and they were arcing on that, on the rod here. So when I was at the guy's place that had this, we put a battery, we got it to kind of like fire a little bit. It wasn't like idling or anything, but it did, you know, turn over and fire up. The battery wires were getting severely hot, like they were arcing, they were grounding to the frame or something along those lines. So I'm thinking we have a short somewhere, so I need to find that before I hook a battery up to it and really try and start getting this thing running like it should. So let's take care of some of these electrical gremlins first, and then we can move on to getting it fired up. Let's go ahead and get the seat removed first. heavy for a seat. Let's go ahead and remove some of these panels too. That way I can just get a better look at things. Nice, now you can see the wires here. See how they're like melted and all corroded together? So let's get that fixed. Still a bunch of dirt in here that pressure washer didn't get. We'll work on getting this cleaned out. In there. Look at all that crap. Definitely needed cleaning. Got these little boots over here, but so much mud, it's like taking them off. All right, let's get this cleaned up. So these lines down here were so packed with mud in between them. You can see how they're kind of rusting now. So I've been sitting here for about an hour getting them all cleaned out up under them. Still not cleaned out good. I'll show you. There's just still tons of stuff in there. Stuff was like concrete. It was basically grease, oil over all these years just compacting in there. So all right, got them cleaned up best I could. Yeah, so yeah, so that's much better. It still kind of sticks a little bit, but it's clean around it. See, this one kind of sticks. The other ones are fine, they don't stick or anything. I mean, I'm not gonna really be using the center, the auxiliary anyway, so, but as long as it's not like leaking, all that's just WD-40 that I put on there. I'm gonna leave the boots off these things though, keep dirt from getting in them. All right, let's start working on this wiring. Definitely shorting the ground. Let's get some new wires put on there. that, all right, to start it, they got this white wire just clamped onto this black wire going to the starter solenoid, I believe. These wires down here, I have no idea what that goes to. It was just dangling. It is coming out of the harness up here. This thing, there's a bunch of other wires around here. We have a ground wire that's just loose right here, just goes to the frame. We also have these other wires. I believe some of these might go to a seat belt sensor. Not sure on that. All kinds of wiring stuff going on here. So I need some kind of wiring diagram for this. Alright guys, so I did find a wiring diagram online. I'm not the best at reading them, but I did find out what a few things are. So before, this thing would not crank with the key. You had to jump the starter or jump the starter solenoid. I've noticed these 3 wires. This one I still can't figure out what it goes to. I think it either has to do with the glow plugs or the starter, or it could be some type of fuel injection system thing, I don't know. Anyway, so this is the starter wire. This is going to the starter right here, and this one is going to the switch or the starter relay. So before, there was this white wire that you jump to the battery that was just connected like that, or connected to this one, I'm sorry, and that's how you'd crank it. So now I'm going to try and crank it after doing that little bit of wiring fix. I'm going to just put these together and see if I turn the key, if anything happens. So key up here, here we go. Okay, wow, all right, good, that's great. Now it's actually doing something. That buzzing noise, I think, is the hour meter. So my charge light comes on when I first turn the key. The fuel thing works. I'm not sure about any of the other ones. I did test these lights. The lights work. I'm gonna go ahead and take this thing down and get the wiring straightened out in here. It looks like something melted or set on fire. I'm not sure. I'm not still sure what the over injection is. I think it adds more fuel when you first start it, on like cold starts maybe, not sure. But anyway, another thing is, when I was over there starting it, the ground on the battery was getting extremely hot. It was like melting it. So that's why I wanted to kind of fix some of this wiring, because there was definitely a short to ground somewhere. Alright, so I've noticed this throttle cable is kind of disconnected right here. So let's see if we can get that reattached. Throttle's working. Okay, so I thought this glow plug harness was hooked up, but I just found this dangling down in here too. So I have no idea what this wire and this wire go to. I can't find anything. I was thinking it might have went to this, like, there's supposed to be some kind of injection motor in here, but I can't see anything. Might have to take the radiator out and look. Alright, so I tried cranking this thing over again. I wanted to do it really quick because something's still shorting out, or whenever I use the starter, I mean, these wires are extremely hot. They're smoking. You can see right here where it's kind of like burn it from previous times. This one's just going straight to ground right here. And the positives also, I mean, they're still hot. So I had to take this one off really fast, so I wasn't able to get it on camera, but something's still not right. So I'm gonna take this radiator out so I can get a little better look behind there. And I'm also gonna take the dash off to see if I can find anything that's not right. Alright, got the radiator removed. I'm not finding anything crazy, but I did find this wire that's just dangling. This wire that's just dangling. I think this connector is actually, this thing can have turn signals on it, or brake lights. So I think that might have something to do with it. Not sure exactly where those go. On the water separator, these wires are cut, but I don't think that really matters. It just goes to the light up on the dash up there. I think I see another wire dangling down in there, but I'm gonna start taking that dash apart up there, see if I can find anything on it. Alright, I did figure out what this one's going to. This is the oil temperature light, or the oil light. So I'm putting 12 volts to it, and the light is coming on. I don't know if you can see it up at the dash up there. I'll put power to it, and you can see it coming on up there. Well, I hate wiring. I really hate wiring. So, this is what caused the melting. Some kind of, looks like a fuse or fusible link, maybe. But basically it heats up, like a coil in there heats up, and I guess it causes some type of resistance. Not sure exactly, but that is what melted everything. It seems to be okay, but it definitely got hot. Alright, so I've been going through these wires, and a lot of the bulbs are blown. I did add a new switch right here for the lights, as you can see. Just kind of getting a few things cleaned up. I didn't want to bore you guys too much with it. There's just a lot of troubleshooting, so I'm gonna just go ahead and wrap all this stuff up with some electrical tape, try and get it a little bit neater, and yeah, we'll go from there. Got these little heat shrink connectors here. You got solder already in them, so. See the solder flowing nicely in the connection. And as the solder flows, it also shrinks and has sealing bands to keep water out. That's a pretty good connection right there. So I found some more wires that are damaged. As you can see right there, it was rubbing on the frame. Alright, that's fixed. Let's finish getting all the rest of this straightened out. Alright, so there's some janky stuff going on here. All these wires are cut. I have no idea what they go to. And this right here, they just got one of the wires. I think this is a glow plug controller or glow plug relay. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think it is though. And so they just got this connected like that, where it should be connected together like this. So I'm gonna connect it like that, and trying to get it all back to factory because somebody had messed up a ton of stuff. Alright, so I got this wire pulled out, and I've noticed a lot of stuff going on with it too. Got a messed up here right there. Got wires tied together here. And just kind of like a rat's nest here, so I'm going to pull all this crap off and redo it. Guys, this has got to be, if not the worst, probably the worst wiring jobs I've dealt with. I mean, this is a total rat's nest here. I mean, they got splices every single inch of this thing. There's spots that were chafed through, that were rubbing. Man, I got a job ahead of me. I'm probably just gonna cut all this crap off and just start fresh and just redo each individual wire up to about here. I don't think I'm gonna record that. I'll bring you back when I'm done. So did I ever mention that I hate wiring? So I don't know what they got going on here, but they got, looks like starter solenoid wire. That's all I can think. They got it taped together with two wires coming out of it going to the battery terminal. Why they wouldn't just run one wire, I have no idea. Maybe because these were too small and they wanted to double it up. I don't know why they couldn't just find the right size wire, but anyway, just more and more stuff that I'm finding. This whole skid steer has been a wiring nightmare. I thought the dump truck was a wiring nightmare. This tops that. We are all taped up here. I ran out of black electrical tape, but I figured this would be fine. I did add a new ground wire also because the other one was pretty melted. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all these wires ran back where they were and go from there. A lot of this stuff's not even tight. This thing is completely loose right here. And get this wrench on it. So this oil drain is just kind of flapping around. See if I can get some bolts in it. Okay, so I think for the most part we are pretty much finished. Got all the wires zip tied and connected. Got the new ground wire. All these wires. These two loose wires here are, I think, for turn signals or brake lights, along with that connector there and that connector there. These two connectors are for the oil pressure light and the water temperature light. Right now there's a mechanical gauge in both, so. All right, let's start working on the dash. So I'm going to attempt to try and put this dash back together with just some aluminum flat stock here. Alright, I think that's about as good as it's going to get. I'd put another bar at the bottom, but can't really do that because that's where it bolts up to the frame. So, well, one of these bolts would be broken off in here. Some of these covers on and see if we can crank this thing up. Okay guys, here goes nothing. Let's give it a try and see if this thing cranks. Well, it cranked up. It would not cut off with the key, but I did end up cutting it off with this thing. So I guess you gotta pull it out and it kind of chokes the engine off, or I guess it shuts it off. I don't know, I thought it should cut off with the key. Let's try it again. It doesn't have the radiator in, so I don't want to run it long at all. But let's just, not only that, I don't have a seat in here. Definitely seems like the idle is super high for some reason. there's also puffing out a bunch of smoke. It's like the throttle here is not working like it's supposed to. So I don't know. I mean, I had it completely closed off here, so I don't know. Alright guys, so I'm kind of stumped right now. Basically the engine's wanting to go at full throttle. This is your accelerator or your throttle, and right now it seems to kind of do nothing. Right, what it's hooked up to is kind of just like a butterfly valve, and it's almost like a throttle body or a choke, and it just operates that butterfly valve down in there. I've never really seen that on a diesel, but it's on this one. Now on the other lever, the knob one, it goes straight to this, which is on the injection pump. I can tell somebody welded a like a bar on there, so that doesn't look right. I don't really know. I don't know if somebody added this or if it's factory. I have no idea, but you can see kind of where it routes, and then it goes right onto the injection pump right here. And when I loosen this thing up, you can pull it out or push it in, and it just moves that. And then if I move the throttle lever, this one here, it moves the throttle body thing up there, and then it also moves this arm. I think that's the governor arm. I'm not 100% sure though. So the only way to kill the engine is by pulling this out. You can kind of operate the throttle slightly with this by just getting it right in a sweet spot, but I know it's not supposed to be like that. It's just way too hard to even get in the right spot. There's no way if Toyota would put out a machine like that. I know it's supposed to operate with this, but this kind of barely does anything at all. It doesn't shut off with the key switch. I don't know why, but if you guys have any ideas why the engine, you know, why it's doing this, please post it in the comments. I'm going to kind of look out and read all the comments to see if somebody has any ideas. I know a little bit about diesels, but I don't know that much about them, so I'm kind of new to this stuff, so any help would be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna crank it again. I don't have the radiator on, so I can't run it that long, but I'll kind of see what it does. It basically wants to go full throttle. Well, if I have the lever pushed in, the one with the knob on it, if I have that pushed in, it wants to go full throttle. I have to pull it out, but when I pull it out, it wants to cut the engine off, so I have to kind of find it right in that sweet spot to kind of have it barely somewhat running. So I don't know. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up and we'll see what happens. See? There's just no way that can be right. There's no way, because it's just way too hard to get that throttle right. And I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. I can't even get it to idle to even move the levers. I mean, I did slightly move them yesterday, and the hydraulics, everything seemed to be working, but I don't know. I didn't check for oil pressure, so I probably need to check for that real quick. Well, that's good oil pressure. Thing went way up, so I guess that's good. But yeah, I'm not sure. I am not sure at all. So I think I'm gonna end this video, part 1, and in part 2, hopefully we can get the idle and fuel and everything straightened out to where it's idling fine, and I can actually put this thing to work. There's still a lot more to do on this thing. I'm gonna fully restore it. I'm gonna go ahead and paint it, get the tires put on. I still gotta check the final drive or the chain fluid. I'm gonna change all the fluids out on it, and all of that will be in part 2. So as far as the giveaway goes, the terms to the giveaway are, first of all, you have to be subscribed and just post down in the comments how much you think I paid for this machine, not including delivering or anything, just what I gave the guy. Whoever is the closest or spot on is going to get a box of super clean cleaners. It's going to be degreaser, a t-shirt or a hat, and all kinds of different things. So it's going to be a box and full of that stuff. So in the comments, you only have, it's going to be for about we'll say a week after 5 days. It's going to be 5 days after I post this video, and that's all the time you have to post how much you think I paid for it. Anything after those 5 days is gonna, unless nobody's guessed it by that time, you know. But I'll put in part 2 who won, or I'll put in the comments who won the giveaway. All I would need, you have to be in the United States, and if you guess the right number, I'll reply to you, and you can just send me an email with your address, and we'll get it shipped straight to you. So that is the terms on the giveaway for the super clean products. I'll show you pretty much what you'll be getting. So anyway, just let me know in the comments what you guys think my problem is here, what I should do. Somebody did say maybe, or somebody that I talked to said maybe flipping the knob and the throttle lever around, but I don't think it's going to really do anything, because there's such a fine line to get it to idle right, and it just can't be right. I don't know that much about injection pumps, but I know, like on my mini excavator, it runs perfectly, you know, in it's just so much different than this. I can't even get this thing to like sit there and just idle smoothly without it wanting to cut off. I don't know if there's like a rack in here that could be adjusted or whatnot, but I'm not sure. So anyway, just post in the comments what you think is going on, and then in part 2, hopefully we'll get everything straightened out, and we can put this thing to work, drive it around, and take a couple of bucket scoops full. And also got a big project coming up, or it's actually going on now, but I really need this for that project, so be on the lookout for that. But I'll leave it at that, and I will see you guys in part 2. Y'all take care. See you then.